Make sure that you're growing. Don't stay stagnant in this thing, all right? Shalom. Coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rokak Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rokaria, from the GMS Orlando camp. And tonight coming at you with another edition of Asking the Hard Questions. All right, tonight I wanted to pose a question that I heard earlier today that goes something like this. All right, it goes, are you doing this work to facilitate growth or to become famous? All right, through the spirit, I wanted to pose this question to myself first and foremost, of course, and to you elect Akim and Akwaf out there as well, as a part of our self-examination. All right, because in this truth of ours, it's very important that we constantly check our intentions and our motives. All right, because any motive outside of the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to stunt our growth. All right, any will outside of the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will stunt our growth in this truth. All right, and in this truth of ours, there's an expectation of growth. All right, like the elder apostle Jahar says all the time, we're supposed to be growing in this thing. All right, mentally, spiritually, we're supposed to be growing in wisdom, knowledge, understanding, faith, belief, constantly. All right, why? Because this word is likened unto the rivers of living water. All right, when you look at a river of living water and what it's surrounded by, it's oftentimes surrounded by life, plant life, animal life, human life. Why? Because it facilitates growth. All right, that's why a lot of humans and a lot of animals like to make their abode there. All right, whereas when you go into stagnant waters, and what's usually surrounding about stagnant waters is bacteria, insects, death, the basest sort of creatures. All right, all the which is a product of that stagnant water, you know, because it's not living, it's not flowing, it's not giving any nourishment, you know, whereas this truth gives us constant nourishment. All right, the constant nourishment of these precepts, constant nourishment of the prophecies, these parables, these dark sayings. All right, constantly nourish us, constantly comfort us, and constantly facilitate our growth. All right, so there's Salakia. Hold on real quick. All right, Salakia. But there's a constant expectation of growth in this truth of ours because that's what it was designed for. All right, this truth was designed to facilitate our growth. All right, and as it stands, the Lord is raising up the next kings, priests, rulers, and judges. All right, and that takes a level of growth on this side first, because those who are going to be the next kings, priests, rulers, and judges are going to be those who receive salvation. All right, and those who receive salvation are going to be those who have grown in the faith. All right, grown to a level where the Lord can use them as he pleases. All right, and that's what we strive for. That's what we do this work for, to please Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, in our works and in our faith, you know. But with that being said, we're going to pull over and grab a couple of scriptures. Lord willing, this is edifying unto the elect. But I want you to pose a question to yourself. All right, ask the hard questions. Are you doing this work to facilitate growth or to become famous? All right, because a lot of our people do this work to become famous, you know, not necessarily in Hollywood, but to be famous amongst their peers, amongst their family, amongst the barbershop, because they got this newfound knowledge. They can go into the prophecies, they can go into the parables and seem deep. You know, a lot of people do this for vainglory's sake, and they're going up the wrong way, you know, and the Lord is displeased with that. So check your motives. All right. And if you find yourself stagnant, then that means that you have to change something. All right. There's an offset in your diet, an offset in your prayer life, in your fasting, in your reading, in your studying. It's something that you're not doing, or something that you are doing, or something that you need to start doing in order to get on track. All right, especially in these latter days, we want to make sure that we are on track with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, we want to make sure that we're facilitating our growth in this truth. All right, constantly grow. Don't stay stagnant. All right, if you find yourself stagnant, check it. Nip it at the bud as quick as possible. All right, you want to make sure that we're constantly growing in this thing. All right, because that's what the Lord requires. All right, but with that being said, let's get into it. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. It reads, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk, and drawn from the breast. All right, now what is the milk? All right, the milk is speaking about this word. All right, this is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. It reads, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. All right, now at one point in time, we were all newborn babes. All right, like it says in John the 3rd chapter, we had to be reborn again in order to receive this truth. All right, and just like a babe desires the milk of its mother, all right, its mother's breast to nourish it, we desire the milk of this truth to nourish us. All right, and the mother's breast milk contains, or is supposed to contain, all the nutrients specified for that baby. All right, the body makes up specific nutrients that baby needs in order for it to grow. And this truth has done that for us through the Spirit. All right, it's all the precepts. In the precepts wherein lie our nutrients. All right, that's why it says back in Isaiah 28, precept must be upon precept. All right, this is Isaiah 28:9 again. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk, which is the word, and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people. All right, but this word and these precepts are our nourishment. All right, and this is how we grow. So eventually we become children. All right, and we're able to eat more solid food, which is the meat. All right, then you get into more and deeper breakdowns. Then you get into more deeper understanding of what these precepts, these milk precepts mean. You know, and then you begin to grow and to grow and to grow until the point where the Lord needs you. All right, but the important part is that you grow. All right, we continue to desire the sincere milk of the word. All right, going back into 1 Peter 2:2, it says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. All right, and this is about growth. All right, the reason why we read these precepts, the reason why we study these things and go over these things day in and day out is for our growth. All right, that's why we desire the sincere milk of the word, so that we grow. All right, and once we grow to a point where we're able to eat meat, we eat that meat modestly. All right, we don't indulge ourselves in these meats, because you can destroy yourself. All right, what does it say in Sirach? Let me see if I can get it real quick without the audio cutting off. This is excuse me. This is Sirach chapter 37 and verse 29. It says, be not unsatiable at any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats, for excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into toiler. All right, and if you eat too much meat, speaking about, you know, this word of deeper breakdowns, then you're going to become sick. All right, it's going to be too much for you. All right, then you're going to be lifted up with pride, and that pride is going to lead to envy. That pride is going to lead to something else wicked in the spirit until you fall. All right, so we take all these things in moderation, just like a child does, just like a babe does. All right, babe doesn't overdrink. All right, the breast produce enough milk for that day. All right, or for that breakfast, or for that lunch for that child. All right, we eat modestly. All right, until you're full, and then you let that digest, and then you go back for more. All right, that's what it's about. Desiring the sincere milk of the word, eating your share fill, if that's how you say it, eating your share fill, and then letting that digest, and then going back for more. All right, that's how we grow. All right, that's how we continue to grow, and that's important, and it's true. All right, and it's important that you examine yourself on your growth. All right, because you know yourself better than anybody. You know if you're growing, or you know if you're stagnant. All right, which is where the self-examination comes in. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. All right, so you have to prove yourself. All right, you have to prove yourself on what's good for your soul and what's not. All right, what's conducive to the growth of your spirit. All right, and what's not. Okay, and these things come through self-examination. But with that being said, that's all I really have to say. All right, make sure that you're growing in this thing. All right, don't stay stagnant. All right, because stagnant leads to death. All right, growth leads to life. Shalom.